Hey, all you hot listeners, this is episode 24 of Husband and Wife Talks. Marta and I discuss hanging out with another friend that came to visit us. She did a lot of cooking with her friend, and baking, I should point out. Marta is also going to be talking about some candles experiences she had this weekend, so Candle Chats is back, baby. Additionally, we talk about our trip to the Red Rocks Amphitheatre, where we actually saw the amphitheater. Marta originally just walked around and hiked. We did the hike and then also saw the amphitheater. We're also going to be discussing things that we're interested this week, some shows and books that we finished reading. So I think it's going to be a good episode, so stay tuned. Hey, Marta.
What's up?
What's good?
Life is good.
We're off to a hot start, so to speak, on episode 24. If you guys can't tell by the audio quality, some of us are not in the same place. Some of us, both of us, are not in the same place.
I mean, if one of us is not in the same place, then together we can't both be in the same place.
What? Mind blown. That's how physics work. Would it be physics or just normal logic would work?
I don't think it's really physics. It's just common sense.
Well, I mean, if you're not taking place in the same collective area, then you move away.
You're not taking place? What does that even mean?
I don't know. It's late. Well, I'm not
late.
Really tired.
It's 7 p.m. These
my
excuses,
time.
Man.
I'm tired when it comes to physically, because I just got back from working out. And thankfully, you can't smell podcasts, because, whew!
That would be weird.
Yeah, that'd be weird. I always wondered if eventually somebody's going to invent a way to have scents be transported through the interwebs. I kind of hope that they don't, because that'd be bad.
Yeah, let's not. That's weird.
You wouldn't want to test out some candle smells when you're shopping online?
Oh, I have another a major candle chat update,
Okay,
but we can get to that.
We'll get to that later, and I'll be sure to introduce it because we've gotten good feedback about my introduction skills for Candle Chats with Marta. But this is November 14th that we are recording. As I mentioned in a Facebook post that you can find on facebook.com/hotpod. Some of us were traveling, so late night packing, and we also had a guest over, so we couldn't record Monday night. And then Tuesday, we were both pretty beat from an early morning. So, yeah, now we're recording now, and, I mean, there's 23 other episodes. I'm sure you can find something that's enjoyable on that Tuesday, and then now you can listen to this new one. It's exciting.
Well, hopefully everyone is all caught up with all the episodes, so they really were just waiting on their toes for episode 24.
Well, to be fair, I don't really... Some podcasts that I subscribe to, I don't listen consistently week to week. It's sort of just...
Well, that certainly isn't the case for the hot listeners, because we know that if you're listening to this, you have also listened to 23 other excellently put together podcasts. And if you haven't, I hope I'm making you feel a little bit guilty.
And we specifically know some of our good listeners, so if they don't listen, we'll know. We know where they live.
Speaking of knowing what people do, that's a weird segue, but I do have something that I heard on the radio. It's related to sports, so forgive me if I don't remember the details, because details do bore me when it comes to things I don't totally care about. Anywho, there was at the radio station I listened to, I think it was the country one, but maybe it was the other one. I can't remember. Anywho, they were telling a story about how there's a football player on one of the teams that's super good and has a really good contract.
You don't even remember the team?
No, of course not. That's why I said I don't care about details. Anyway, it's the general story that's really interesting.
Oh, okay.
So I think this player is known for not watching videos, I guess, for training. Mm-hmm. I guess football players are given videos to learn plays and all that. Yeah,
they study film tape. That's what they sort of do on Monday and Tuesdays after recovering from the game on Sunday.
Yeah. Anyway, so he was given a bunch of tapes, but the catch was that they were blank. He was given blank tapes as a test, and then he was asked about them like after he had watched them supposedly, and he just made stuff up. They were like, "Oh, so what was on the tapes? What'd you learn?" And he made stuff up, but they were blank, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's actually this during the season they do this. A lot of times, teams like to pull a prank, or not prank, but like try to get inside a quarterback or any player's head to see if they're committed to learning something, and they do that when kids are coming out for the draft. Because they want to draft someone who's willing to put in the time and effort and not just rely completely on their talent and ability. They want someone to put in the time and effort outside of actually, being there, being on practicing and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a really random story.
But that's a random story that I would not expect that you got interested in, honestly. I thought you would have tuned out as soon as they said football. Well, you did tune out the fact that it was what team it was for, or any of the name of the person, or anything of that nature. But I think you got the gist across.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought it was interesting that in professional sports where there's millions of dollars on the line, someone couldn't do something as simple as watch some videos.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone was paying me a few $1 million, I'd do whatever they wanted. Anything. I mean, related to my career.
Okay. You don't want to go down that. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I realized that now I keep forgetting because we don't talk on Skype that often. When it comes to recording, I have to make sure to not interrupt since it's a little delayed when it comes to your talk versus my talking.
Yeah, you better not interrupt me.
Yeah, because, I mean, everybody that comes here only listens to you, baby. That's the main goal. They come here specifically for candle chats with Marmar and then hear the deep, manly voice of me. Well, not manly, but then they just tune out my voice.
Just wait for candle chats. I have quite an update.
Yeah.
It's going to be very passionate. So
I have a feeling you're going to get very fired up about it.
Oh, I will. But stay tuned for that.
So we had a friend come over and visit us this weekend in Colorado. Back-to-back friends. That's how you know we're loved, as people want to visit us.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was fun.
So,
fun weekend.
Do we want to give a rundown of what exactly we did? What did we do? I'm trying to remember exactly what we did.
Well, you claimed we did a whole bunch, so I felt like the idea should just be rolling off your tongue.
I know we went to the outlets. That's like the main thing because you just talked about candles, and that's where this all started, but we'll get more into that later since there was a tree lighting ceremony.
On Thursday night, we went to our favorite Mexican restaurant, local Mexican restaurant, Illegal Pete's.
I feel like they need to sponsor us eventually with the amount of times we mentioned them in the podcast.
Friday?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we did Friday. I mean, I worked from home.
You went to the grocery store, to Target. I know that for a fact.
Oh, that was so fun.
You did a lot of shopping, you two. Whole Foods and Target. Bought a lot of things.
I didn't really buy that much.
You didn't buy that much?
No.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Whatever you say.
Barely bought. Okay. People that like to decorate for Christmas, hear me out. Target has a $1 and $3 and $5 section near the front of the store, at least in our Target. And about, I don't know, a month or 2 months ago, I bought these adorable little appetizer plates that were pumpkin shaped and leaf shaped.
I feel like we've mentioned this before on the pod.
I know, but this is part of my story.
Okay.
So 2 plates for $3. Unheard of. You go to Crate and Barrel or Pier 1, same kind of plate, that'll run you $5 each minimum. So this was a deal, and they're adorable. Anyway, so this past weekend when I was there, they have graciously updated that section for Christmas-related items, and I love it.
If anybody's listened to the podcast, they know that Marta, Christmas is her holiday. When it comes to decoration and the festivities, she loves herself some Christmas.
Yes. So I bought 4 more appetizer plates for a total of $6. And they're adorable. They're red and green, and I forget the patterns. I know one of them is like red and green plaid. I forget what the other one is. But they're just such a cute and not low budget, but low expense way to bring some Christmas cheer to your life. So yeah, got those. I know I got some other stuff, but I forgot. Well, the whole Christmas section with all the fake Christmas trees and ornaments and all that is up in Target. So I just wish I had like $500 to spend and buy all these beautiful decorations and trees and all that. But maybe one day I'll just walk in and not even care how much I spent.
Yeah. Should point out that along with all the purchases that you made, maybe jog your memory that you made a lot of stuff. You baked and cooked a lot over this weekend. If you want to give if you want to give the rundown of literally everything that you made.
Maybe everything is not necessary. Well, I'll just pick a select few. One, I am obsessed with the movie Elf.
You say You say obsessed?
Like, I emphasize both of the syllables individually. Obsessed. Obsessed. Not obsessed, not abscessed.
Obsessed.
Anyway, I love that movie. I think it's hilarious, and it's just so goofy, and I'm goofy, so it works out.
Also, we watched Christmas Inheritance, which is another Netflix copy in Hallmark style, doing the generic... I think Christmas Inheritance was a girl from New York goes to a small town in upstate New York, and then, she's a fish out of water, and then she falls in love, and things of that nature. The generic things that you expect from a corny, very cheesy Christmas movie, but I love every second of it.
I actually wasn't finished my Elf story.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. You just jogged my memory with another movie.
We at Target, my friend and I, we bought Elf-inspired sugar cookies. So they're sugar cookies with Elf's hat, like a little caricature of Elf's hat on it. I made those. I'm not usually a huge fan of sugar cookies. I prefer the chocolate chip variety, but they were delicious.
They were tiny though. They're like the size.
They were so small. They were probably a third of the size of your palm, like an average palm. Usually a cookie is like the size of a palm, but this, actually, if you make a circle with your thumb and your pointer finger, they were about that size.
Look at this. We're giving the listeners something to do while they listen.
I mean, obviously when you're listening, you don't have a visual, but here you go.
Also, did we just like
between that.
Sort of prank all our listeners to give themselves, because you remember in high school where you would do like the okay sign, and like if somebody looked at it, you would get to like punch them. Have you ever done that thing?
No.
Was that never in your high school? Maybe that's
I went to an all girls Christian school, so if there was any punching, there was definitely
probably on the more
some conversation with the Lord to follow. I'm not joking.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm not kidding.
So, like, if something was like wrong, did you have to go to like a priest?
I mean, not that I was joking about. We didn't like go. I think the person was called a reverend at my school, but I mean, every day started with, I think it's called prayers, which sounds weird in retrospect because we didn't actually pray. But I mean, we had like a senior speaker that started off, and then announcements, and then I think on Tuesdays it was called chapel. So we actually had biblical related things. But yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it was pretty much like a school assembly, but they called it prayers because it was an Episcopal school. Fun times. I'm also currently wearing my high school sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm. You look very cozy. Are you freezing?
Because what?
Are you freezing? Is that why you're wearing it?
Yeah, at my parents' house, there's two temperatures. There's the Arctic Circle and the equator.
Or the surface of the sun.
Or the surface of the sun. There's no in between. Like, I'm either melting and sleeping on top of the covers, wishing I lived in the air conditioning vent, or last night I slept under a comforter and a blanket, and I was still cold. Like, a full layer. But go back to that thumb to finger analogy. The comforter was. So, Yeah, I mean, I like being cold more than I like being hot. So the fact that I'm cold is nice because I can add some layers. But when I'm hot, there's only so many layers you can take off. You know what I mean? So there you go. Okay,
Funny.
that's enough of that garbage nonsense.
So you made elf cookies. That's one thing you mentioned. You made chocolate chip cookies. You made pulled pork with spaghetti squash. Since you were nervous that I wasn't going to eat, so you just made a bunch of stuff before you left. So now the fridge is just packed galore with things that I don't think I'll be able to finish it all.
But aren't you glad you have so many meals now?
Mm-hmm. Makes my lunch making very easy.
Yeah, I wish that when I was getting ready for the week for work, someone would just bake a bunch or cook a bunch of stuff for me.
But haven't we gone through that discussion before? Like, we mentioned, like, oh, it'd be nice to make all the stuff on Sunday and then we'll have it all for the week. But I know you've mentioned you're not a fan of, like, the leftover taste. Like, if you have to reheat
that's why I
things in the
gave you
microwave.
so many options. I made you 3 things so that you would have the options.
No, not like leftovers as in you get bland and tired of it. I thought you've always just not liked the fact that you had to, like, reheat it in the microwave and it doesn't taste nearly as good fresh. And that was, like, the main reason you weren't into the whole leftover and making it on Sunday type deal.
I'm
You
not sure. I
contemplating?
mean, when it's the 2 of us and we're together, I'd rather cook meals either every night or every other night. But since I knew you were going to be by yourself for a few days,
You're just so sweet,
I
baby.
like to cook, so I didn't feel like it was a chore at all. It gave me an excuse to cook, and there was a benefit that came out of it.
I also like cooking together just because it gives you, it's kind of like bonding type deal, and you sort of just have to focus on what you're doing, kind of. So you're not like looking at your phone most of the time or trying to listen to something else. It's just you two trying to, like me and you, trying to figure out a recipe and hopefully not screw it up, which I do from time to time. Because I sort of my downfall when it comes to reading recipes is I skim it sometimes
The reading part?
a little too quickly.
The part where you actually read the recipe? That part?
No, I skim it. I'm trying to do so many things at once.
You're not reading.
Yeah, skimming.
Yeah, but that's not reading. It's not the same.
It's not? You're still intaking the words. You're just sometimes missing important ones.
That's the whole problem with skimming. Yep.
Oh, goodness. You ever taught, like, in school how to properly skim a book? I remember that was like a generic...
That's what Spark Notes is for.
But no, I've always been told, like, I remember teaching, being taught in English, like, oh, if you want to get the gist of the book right away, read the first page, read the last page, and then if you're trying to skim certain sections, just read the topic sentence of that article or whatever. I was like, I've tried that, and I feel like I don't get the gist of this article. Cool.
Yeah, I never really was taught how to skim.
Cool. Apparently, I wasn't either.
Oh, so you just made that up?
No, I was making a joke, baby. Calling back, referencing back to the fact that I screw up recipes because I skim poorly. You know, funny, haha. No,
gotcha.
Man,
okay.
I am a tough crowd tonight. Tough crowd. Goodness.
Tough crowd always. You gotta make me laugh for me to laugh. I'm not just gonna pity giggle. No pity giggling here.
So?
Anyway, back to weekend.
Yep.
Saturday, we went to the Red Rocks.
That's what it was. I was trying to remember.
Amphitheatre in, I think it's in Morrison, Colorado, or a little nearby there. I mean, it's pretty much like a 25 minute drive, almost directly west of where we live, so it's a pretty easy drive. And we did the 1.4 mile hike around Red Rocks, and then we walked up the ramp and stairs to the amphitheater, which neither of us had seen before, which was awesome. Really cool.
Yeah, it actually, you can look out and it overlooks the city. If you go all the way up to the top of the amphitheater doesn't really block the city, and it's just the whole view that you see down into the valley that is Denver, Colorado. Very beautiful. A little tiring walking up all those steps because there's a lot of steps. Especially after walk. Well, I mean, it wasn't that long of a walk. It's only 1.4, but it is a steep climb up. But very pretty.
In the words of Miley Cyrus, it's the climb.
Oh, goodness. Oh,
and it was the climb, indeed.
Yeah. Great commentary there, baby.
Thank you.
Good analysis.
Wasn't really analysis, but okay.
I mean, this was the first time that I went because we mentioned a few episodes back that you went personally and you did the walk, but I finally got to go there, and it was, I think, beautiful. This was the first time you actually got to see the amphitheater, though.
Yeah.
I can imagine that the acoustics, I think, isn't that the main reason why people play there is the acoustics are really well because it's sort of hidden into a cannon.
You mean the acoustics are good?
Hmm?
I said you mean the acoustics are good?
Sure.
You said the acoustics are well.
Thanks for pointing that out and stopping my where I was going. I was on a roll. I was speeding up, and you just had to just pump the brakes and kill my vibe, didn't you?
Yep. Okay, now we're back.
Okay. Do you have any comments about the amphitheater or Red Rocks in general?
It was pretty. I mean, nothing. I don't have anything additional of
Man,
value.
we are on point for episode 24, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we are.
It's like pulling teeth trying to get you to talk today for some reason.
What are you talking about?
It's just the long pauses. I'm just sitting here. I'm doing the talking, and then I didn't know if you want to continue, and then you're sitting there, so I say...
I already gave my opinion. Cool. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. It's gone. We're done.
Great analogy. That's the right word, right?
Thanks. Yep, it's an analogy.
Oh, what was that? Oh, look at that.
An analogy.
An enemy.
Okay. Saturday night?
Saturday night. We went to Red Rocks. No. Wrong.
We went there during the day. We came back home. And
we were like, we want to go there again at night so we can't see a thing.
That would be really
No,
dumb.
we went to Castle Rock Outlets because they had what was it? Christmas lighting. Christmas tree lighting. And the station 98.7. Is that what it's, or is 98.5? One of them.
98.5 KYGO. Denver's #1 country station.
Trying to get all the sponsors today. But yeah, they were doing an event there, so there was a lot of country music playing, and sort of country music. They were like doing covers, like the smaller bands that initially started it off. So we got to walk around. I got to go to my favorite outlet store, Van Hoosen, get some quality jackets.
PJ pants that unfortunately were the incorrect size.
No, they're the right size of the weights. If my brother's listening, he understands my pain as well, because we have thick thighs, me and my brother. So I got the right size for my waist. They fit perfectly fine, but it's my thighs. I feel like they're like, it's just constricted, and I'm not a fan, especially when it comes to PJs, of things being really tight. That's why I've always said I don't understand how you or any other lady wears leggings, because that feeling probably doesn't feel, I would not like being that tight. All bunched
I don't
together.
wear leggings to bed ever.
Yeah, no, but you're walking around in it. I mean, I wouldn't walk around with anything that tight against my legs.
It's a culture thing.
It's a culture thing?
Yeah, I don't ever see men wearing leggings. Men will wear tighter clothes when it comes to sports. Like bikers will wear the legging type things or whatever they're called. Mm-hmm. Or like for swimming, obviously you're wearing a suit that's tight to your body, but I've never seen men just strolling casually in leggings.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a cultural difference in attire.
Yeah, I'm always down for sweatpants. That's my
now that we're
route.
talking.
Now we're talking about
the outlets. Can I do my candle chat?
Do you want to say anything before we get into the candle chats about what else? You bought a nice plush blanket, right?
Vest. Oh, yeah. Oopsie.
You bought a vest and a blanket
from the same store. Eddie Bauer.
Never actually been there before.
Me neither. I actually have my PJ pants right here. I was gonna pick them up to show everybody, but I realized that this is a podcast, so no one can see. But I'll give you a visual. They are navy. They're Christmas themed. So if you're not into Christmas, just fast forward the next 3 minutes where I rave about these pants.
Also, if you're not into Christmas, who are you?
I mean, you could just be Jewish or Muslim.
Well, that's fair. But if you're not into the holidays, who are you?
Who are you? That's a little... Anyway, they're navy, dark navy, with white Christmas trees on them with some... This is honestly the most attention I've given the actual design since I bought them. I don't really stare at them that often. White Christmas trees with mint-colored Christmas trees, I would say, with smaller pink trees that are more piney, I suppose. And then we do have some light blue, but not like tacky, like it matches the color scheme here. Bluish gray, actually, reindeers, very small reindeers. Yeah, they're very comfortable.
That has been Pajama Patterns Podcast with Marta.
And then I got, a plush. Oh, wait, I got 3 things at that store, I guess. Oh, because we got the blanket first, and then I came back. A really nice plush vest that was, I think, 50% off. So, woohoo. And then just the most comfortable blanket, literally, I've ever had. That's also Christmas themed.
I'm never, like, those blankets feel so comfy, but I feel like they're made specifically for your size, because I tried to use it yesterday and it doesn't cover my body at all. Like, it's just, I have to either have it all the way up by my arms or all the way down by my legs.
What do you mean it doesn't cover your body?
It doesn't cover my whole body. Like, if I lay out flat, it doesn't cover me.
Why?
I don't know. It's smaller. Wait, how do you want me to answer that why question? I don't know. That was just the dimensions that they gave the blanket, babe.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that's just the dimensions they gave me. Like, they? Who's they?
Jesus, you've learned about him in your prayer study in high school, right?
It was actually Tuesdays, and it was chapel. Prayers was Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Exactly. You still learned about Jesus during prayers.
No, we didn't. We learned about Jesus during chapel.
What'd you learn about in prayers?
Nothing. I told you prayers was more of the general assembly.
Huh, weird. Well, you can continue.
It wasn't weird. I don't appreciate being judged. Bless you.
Well, they didn't hear me sneeze since I muted it, but now they know.
Well, that's weird. Now they heard me say bless.
Well, it continues with the prayers theme. You're just blessing all our listeners.
That's true. Well, bless everybody, you know? The holidays are coming and you want to stay healthy.
Exactly.
What am I even saying?
I don't
know. Candle chats? Can I now move on to candle chats?
Sure. It's time for Candle Chats with Marta.
All right. Good evening / morning, wherever you're listening in the world. It's time for my candle chat. And I am the host of Candle Chats, Marta. Same host as was just talking 5 seconds ago, but just thought I'd reintroduce myself in case you're only here for Candle Chats, which would honestly be really weird because it's probably the worst part of the episode.
That's not true, baby.
In terms of actual content, I mean, I don't know. So let's jump right in. What grievances do I have to express to the listeners today about candles? I'll just jump right in. Okay. I mentioned I actually was absolutely raving about Bath & Body Works candles literally last week and the week before. But I have some unfortunate news about Bath & Body Works and candles there in my experience. So, it all started probably 12 years ago when I was... Oh, yeah, I forget how old I am. Yeah, about 12 years ago. You know, I was young.
We're getting the whole backstory on this chat.
Yep, we're getting a whole backstory. I was young, probably, middle school. I think I was in 6th grade. And we have a family friend that lives in Chicago, or the suburbs of Chicago. So my family went to visit them, and they have a daughter. And I think she's like 6 months older than me. She was born in August of the previous year, and my birthday's in February. Anyway, we hadn't seen each other for a while, and we were excited to go hang out. So we went to the mall. I think our parents must have been around since we were pretty young. But we went to Bath and Body Works, and we both went crazy. We bought so many lotions and so many hand sanitizers. I wasn't into candles back then because fire safety. But we did buy tons of hand soaps and hand sanitizers to the point where some of them I just never used because they went bad. But in the future, we both looked back on that and laughed. So that's my backstory of Bath and Body Works. That experience really
shaped who you were or who you are?
No, that's a little dramatic. But that experience did shape my love for Bath and Body Works as a brand. So anyway, fast forward about, I guess 10 years when I first got into candles. I think I first got into candles more was after college, when I actually had disposable income to waste on literally burning things into the air. Not the candles are a waste, not at all. I'm just joking. But anyway, so yeah, about 2 or 3 years ago, I started buying candles, and I realized they were a nice way to enhance ambiance. And I'd heard about Yankee Candle, and I'd gone in there and been like, oh, it smells too strong. I don't like it. The candles are expensive. Valid. The Yankee Candles, full price, I believe, are, I don't know, 25 or in the 30s. They're pretty expensive for the large ones. Anyway, so flash forward to $30. We have confirmation on that, folks. Large Yankee Candles are $30. And Bath and Body Works online, when you wait for the right sale, which apparently I've been told is like every week. But anyway, you can get the candles for $12.50. So in my head, comparing $12.50 to $30 seems nonsensical. Obviously, $12.50 is the way to go. Anyway, so now at this point meaning present day, I've had this candle infatuation per se, not obsession, maybe obsession, for about 2.5 years since I've graduated from college, and I stepped foot into Yankee Candle this fine Saturday, not thinking anything, I was just thinking I just bought more from Bath and Body Works with a gift card, and really more candles are not in my future. So I walk into Yankee Candle, and there's a very friendly guy. He kind of reminded me of Olaf, the character or the actor who plays Olaf. I forget his name. Josh Gad. That guy kind of reminded me of him. He was very theatrical, and I just got that type of vibe.
Was he larger and had curly hair?
I don't know if he had curly hair, but he was a little bit
that dude.
Overweight, I believe. Anyway, so we walk in, my friend and I, because I think Adam was at a different store at this point, and just kind of browsing, and then I see 5 for $50. Their candles are $10 each. How much have I been paying at Bath and Body Works? $12.50.
You should also point out the amount that's held into the candles.
I know. Also, the candles at Yankee Candle, the large ones, were larger than what I was paying $12 for. So not only have I been paying more.
Do you want me to get the exact numbers? I can go grab 2 candles now.
Exact numbers of what? The ounces?
Yeah.
No, I have it. I know it.
Oh, okay. Silly me. I should have
Large
known.
Yankee Candles I bought were 22 ounces. And the Bath and Body Works candles were 14.5 ounces. So 14.5 divided by 2 is about 7. So if you add 14.5 to 7, that's about 21, 22. So these Yankee Candles are 50% more than Bath and Body Works and $2.50 cheaper. I was outraged. I felt like Bath and Body Works just ripped me off is really not extreme enough. Like, it's just a ripoff. It's a complete ripoff.
Isn't that the onus more on you, the Mrs. Candle expert?
I gave you my backstory. I gave you why I have or had past tense Bath and Body Works. I do not have brand loyalty anymore, unfortunately.
Oh, damn. We're losing that sponsorship.
We never had a sponsorship. Definitely did not and will not have one. Anyway, I had the brand loyalty built up from when I was a kid or preteen or whatever. And then I saw that they had good sales in the outlets, and I did enjoy their scents. So I would buy them and continue supporting them. But I had never been, that's not true. I had been to the Yankee Candle outlet before, but I think when I was at that outlet, I didn't pay attention to the prices or look at the sizing or realize what I'm getting for my money. So yeah, I did buy more candles at Yankee Candle. 5 for $50, so we got 5.
But I got to choose them.
Yeah, I was shocked that Adam I don't want to say let me, because that sounds like I need permission. But in a sense, yeah, I'm shocked you did let me, because I already have quite a selection of candles in our home, more than I will be able to burn by the end of this year, or this holiday season, that's for sure. But anyway, so the end of the story, end of Candle Chats is coming up. And I just want to say that don't get too attached to any brand, because you might wake up one day and realize that you've been overpaying for this mediocre product when you could have gotten a better product somewhere else.
I mean, isn't that a generic topic in general, talking about brand loyalty, how everybody goes to the grocery store and they always choose the brand that they know versus like the generic market or Target brand or the grocery store brand just because they know that brand and it's a little more expensive? Isn't that just like a thing that people have?
I'm sorry, but we need to formally wrap up Candle Chats before we dive into another discussion. So do you want to do the honors with your voice?
That has been Candle Chats with Marta. Okay, brand loyalty. Back to that.
Love it.
But
I hope our loyal listener, AK, you know who you are. Abbreviation or initials used for listener privacy, even though we've said his name multiple times.
Yeah, people can easily find his name. Hashtag episode 2. But yeah, do you have any thoughts on brand loyalty in general? Like, I mean,
I just gave a very personal example of where my head was at, why I kept going there, and then I think it's all about, in the end, I think it's about the loyalty aspect and trusting a brand, but I also think it's about money, because if you go to the grocery store and there's a sale on literally the same exact product, that's how I found a cheaper version of like not painkillers, but like certain pills that I take for certain types of pain.
That sounds so suspicious.
No, there's a painkiller called Midol, which is usually for women's like menstrual cramps and all
once a month things.
Not headaches, backaches, or like any type of aches that are associated with that. Yeah. And Midol is the brand I used ever since I started using it, if I get bad pain that time of month. But then one day I went to the store, I think it was Target or a Walmart, and there's literally the store version, or the store brand. The store brand of it. And for any medicines, it's really easy to tell, or even in foods, you just look at the ingredients. But I turned the label over, and literally, there's not that many ingredients in it. It's not some sort of crazy formula, but it was the same exact ingredients, but maybe half the price. So I think that taught me a lesson too, that if you just try to find the exact equivalent of what you're looking for, then you'll save a ton of money and realize you don't have to go to that name brand when you can just get the store brand for less.
I think when it comes to the reason that you see now more and more generic store brand drugs, so to speak, like what you were mentioning, I think, I don't have the specific, because I was trying to look it up real quick, but I couldn't find a specific answer. But I think after a certain period of time, like the company loses rights to just make the drug with that specific quote unquote recipe. So that's why you see things now, generic, cheaper store brand products that have the exact same thing. But it goes to you lose the patent on it, on that original formula. That makes sense. But it still goes back to brand loyalty, how these drug companies can still make the same product and charge more, and they're still in business because just people casually go and buy it. I guess I also have a feeling maybe it's sort of the brand design and everything, where people are trying to walking past real quick, and they just see the brand that they're used to, and it's like My Doll's case, isn't it like orange, like bright orange? You're like, oh, there's My Doll, I'll grab it real quick, and things of that nature. Where generic
It's light blue, but it doesn't really matter.
Sorry,
just for accuracy purposes.
Well,
I think Tylenol is usually orange. A certain type of Tylenol can be orange.
I may be thinking of another drug painkiller that starts with M. Well, I could be wrong. Motrin, maybe? I don't know. But
I think it might be Motrin.
But yeah, like you walk by it and you see that color and you know what it is. You're like, oh, let me grab that. Where the generic store brands are all kind of very bland and straightforward. So I think that has something to do with it as well. Because when people go to the grocery store, it's not really, they're not. I feel like a lot of people are just trying to get in and get out as soon as possible. They're not in there to peruse and browse around. Some people are.
I mean, that's what Target's for.
There it is.
Target. You don't go to Target. Well, I don't want to overgeneralize for everybody, but for lots of ladies and some men, not trying to be sexist, you don't go to Target with knowing what you want. You go to Target and let Target tell you what you need.
That's the wrong mentality.
And that's how every Target trip should go.
That's how shopaholics are born.
No, I mean, Target, I guess when you're a kid, you also don't really have any choice in where to shop. Like, you just go with your parents, and then the whole time you're complaining and you want to leave. But now that I'm an adult with functioning adult with responsibilities, but also with a paycheck, which does allow for very infrequent, low-cost shopping trips. Wink, wink. Anywho, so now that, I have some disposable income that I can spend on, Christmas decorations or $3 appetizer plates, sometimes I'll go to Target and I need a few items, but I just want to peruse. Do I want to walk through the Chip and Joanna Gaines Magnolia Home section? Of course. Do I want to walk through the $1, $3, $5 section in the front and look at... Oh, I forgot what I bought at Target. I also bought these adorable Mickey... I'm not like a Disney fanatic. I mean, I like Disney. Not as much as MD, but I do like Disney.
Shout out to MD.
I just said MD.
Okay.
What? I just said MD.
Oh, you did? I must have missed it. Sorry.
Medical doctor. Okay, she's not. That I know of. I mean, unless she's currently pursuing her MD. Anyway, I bought these socks. They're long socks. And they had a Mickey and a Minnie on them. And then I think they had a little wreath. And then they were red for Christmas. They were really cute. They were $1. A pair of socks for $1? Holla!
You just say holla? Is that... You just put that out there into the universe.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I don't even remember how this aside started. Oh, yeah, Target. So, yeah, I went to Target, and on my list was really boring things. Like, I don't even know what was on my list.
You already forgot. Bananas.
Bananas are on my list. Do I really want to go to Target, buy bananas, and leave?
Yes.
No, I don't.
No.
You do. I don't. So I perused, and I'm just thinking, I'm not there to waste $300 on garbage. But if I find something cute like those dollar socks, and they bring me happiness because I love the Christmas season and just that whole spirit, I'm gonna buy them. And that's that.
I'm shocked you don't come home some days with just random baby clothes since you just think they're adorable.
Ugh. The baby clothes at Target are so cute. I've had quite a few dreams about babies, and I think it's because I am so obsessed with those baby clothes at Target.
They're very cute. I feel like it's like a thing is maybe we should start saving up for purchasing all those baby clothes just because they grow out of them so quick, but they still need clothes, so you just got to start buying them ahead of time. No?
I don't think we have the space for buying things for the future.
But they're so tiny. I'm sure we have space.
That sounded like an Aziz voice. Oh, but they're so tiny.
But anything else you want to mention for this weekend? Anything of note? You made gingerbread houses. That's one thing. That they're still here because I can't throw them away until you get back because you're going to be really sad.
Those gingerbread houses. So at Target there were these little gingerbread villages, I guess. And they, instead of making one big gingerbread house, it was 4 smaller gingerbread houses and they were all different. It was like a candy shop, Santa's house, and whatever else. But it was cute and fun. I like decorating them.
Yeah, they turned out really well. Both of you did a good job. That for some reason just reminded me that while watching Elf, not just eating sugar cookies, we tried to play an Elf drinking game. What? What? That's not wrong. We're adults. But it's like a thing you find online where it's like if Buddy says something like Santa or people look at him ridiculously, you take a sip. And it was a lot more than I expected. But I think that's the whole point.
Not a very sustainable way to consume your beverages.
Yeah, because it just happens consistently. Those games are never really... They sound like a good concept at first, and then it's just like, I'm tired of doing this. I just want to sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, I'd rather just enjoy whatever I'm eating or drinking.
I agree. I guess, finally... Oh, we forgot to mention, today, November 14th, it's National Pickle Day, National Spicy Guacamole Day, National Educational Support Professionals Day. Just FYI. Since we didn't really mention in the beginning, I forgot. That's my bad. My B.
I thought we always do the day that the podcast will be released, or is it being released on the 14th?
Oh, baby, we're so late. I'm just releasing it right now, as soon as we're done.
We're not late. We are adjusting our schedule to life.
We are right on time for all the hot listeners that listen to us. But I guess final thing, is there anything that you've been taken up or you've read or watched or that you want to mention to the hot listeners? Because I have one thing that I finished.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Would you like me to explain this?
Sure, baby.
Okay. I started watching a show on Netflix called Jane the Virgin. Mm-hmm. Per my friend's per my friend's suggestion.
Okay.
And I love that show. It's so funny. Highly recommend.
You want to give the premise to people listening?
The premise is that so it's called Jane the Virgin. So Jane, this main character, is a virgin.
She's waiting until she gets married, right?
She is the daughter of a teen mother.
Uh-huh.
And she grew up determined to not repeat her mom's mistakes. And at 23, her life's on track. She's studying to be a teacher. She's engaged. And then, she's trying to save herself until marriage. Very respectable. And then she goes to a GYN, a gynecologist, for a routine checkup, and turns out the doctor had a artificial insemination right next door in the next room over in the clinic, but she accidentally artificially inseminated the main character Jane instead of the woman who was supposed to be inseminated.
Wow,
so now
juicy. Right off the bat.
Jane is pregnant. And her sperm donor is actually her boss at her job.
Whoa, big reveal right there.
Yeah.
Dang, that sounds interesting. Maybe I'll check it out after we finish Heart of Dixie when you get back.
According to Google, it's an American telenovela.
Telenovela? I don't know. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good.
He's good.
I really like it.
Is it just like funny or?
It's really funny. It's also really dramatic. There's a lot going on. So I just think it's a good show. I
highly recommend it. I mean, it's probably more girly than masculine because the main character is this girl Jane, and she's feminine, and she lives with her mom and her grandma. So there's a lot of strong female characters, but I like it a lot.
I'm happy. It sometimes takes a little bit for you to find a show that you enjoy.
Not lately.
Mm-hmm. So, can I move on to my thing? My ting?
Sure.
Well, actually, I have two things now that I mentioned. I finished Daredevil Season 3. Any Daredevil fans out there? Very good. Very good season. That's all I have to comment about that. But I also finished, I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but I think did I mention it last week? But I finished that book, Power, like managing your energy versus time. It's one of like the top. I did a Google search of like better self-enrichment books that are good for you, basically. And this was one of them. The audiobook is like 4 hours, basically, and they do a good job of laying out, just talking to you how managing your energy is a lot more important than managing your time, because sometimes you can manage your time, you can block off time consistently, but if you start running out of energy throughout the day, your efficiency wears down and you get more irritable, and they talk about ways to recover, and I've been trying to implement that more in my life this week, like consistently trying to take breaks at like 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock to go down to the lobby and then walk back up 11 flights of stairs. Just to clear my head. They mentioned doing just rituals in your own life to try to recover energy, whether that is just trying to meditate or, just do things that you enjoy, kind of like playing a sport or playing a musical instrument and things of that nature. And I just thought it was really interesting, and they gave like hands-on experiences that they had and people that they worked with and issues that they were having, and they mentioned that keeping your goals in check of what you want and trying to remind yourself every day of your philosophy in life, what you hold most dear. Like if you want to be truthful all the time, or you treating your family with respect, or doing the best for your family, you want to remind yourself that consistently each day, because having a purpose, I guess, so to speak, to guide you to where you need to go is a good driving force to you putting in that time and gaining more energy actually when you work. And they mentioned the fact that you have to, as like a muscle, I feel like I mentioned this briefly because I was almost done the book, but I didn't completely finish it. But they mentioned that, gaining energy is sort of like how you have to train your muscles, where you sort of have to work at like a really difficult task, and it drains you at first, but you keep working at it, and it sort of builds up your energy capacity throughout life if you keep pushing yourself harder and harder and doing things that are outside your comfort zone, learning new things and things of that nature. So I thought it was a really good read. Well, actually not read, really good listen. That's really strange to say about a book. This is like one of the first audiobooks that I kind of finished. So I highly recommend it. Now on to Think and Grow Rich, which was a book written back in the 30s, but it still applies to today. So I'm excited to get to that one. That's like 7 hours long. So, but yeah, that's just what I've been up to in the learning department. Do you have any questions about the book, baby?
No.
No? Nothing? Nada?
No. I'll add it to my list.
Add it to the list. It's a quick read. Or
listen.
Listen. I don't know how quick the read is. So I feel like sometimes in audiobooks, sometimes they do it word for word, and then other times they shorten it down. I've noticed that with the Think and Grow Rich, that there was multiple ones you could add. You could get like a 9.5 hour version of it, but then there was a newly released Audible, like Amazon Audible specific one, where it was like 7 hours and 40 minutes. So I guess they like cut out certain things of it, and they sort of interjected as well, like the author's previous like talks or presentations, his audio. So it's really really cool. So I'm looking forward to talking about that more in the future. So I guess I should wrap things up, huh, hon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming because you were baking before this, right, with your mama? Cake's done? Was it cake or was it a pie?
It was a cake. It was a Italian almond pear cake or Italian pear almond cake.
And I'm sitting here on the other side of the Skype chat not getting any of it.
Yep. Sorry.
Dang. Oh, well. Well, I'm just going to wrap this up. Did you want to say anything before I do the generic spiel? Okay. I'm gonna keep going. You can find us on Twitter at HotPod, Facebook.com/HotPod. We post just updates for the podcast. FYIs, if we're running a little late with the post, or we post pictures there from time to time of things that we do, which means I need to post the Red Rocks ones eventually. I keep forgetting. You can, or website, hot.podbean.com, where you can find all our episodes. Please share us with your friends and family. We'd really appreciate it. We are basically everywhere. And if you are currently listening on iTunes, I know you probably hear it every single week from every single podcast, but if you have a second, please go rate us. Give us 5 stars. It'll help us out a lot. But yeah, we're available everywhere. Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, the generic places that you would find podcasts. But we appreciate all you for listening. Remember, we'll be back here next Tuesday because we'll actually be in the same room. Yay. And we won't have guests. It'll just be us this weekend. I think we plan on going to take a ski trip this weekend. Finally. Ski season is upon us.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. All right, babe. You want to say bye?
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye, y'all.